Welcome back to the Fumble Forecast. The Eagles have made a horrible, awful, terrible, detrimental decision with their lineup going into Week 18. Find out more on the Fumble Forecast. Welcome back to Week 18 of the Fumble Forecast for the 2024 season. I hope you're doing fantastically well because I'm here again feeling iffy.
Fucking God. You did
What?
it again. It's
What?
week 17.
Oh, my bad. I just know that we're going into last week, so I have week 18 on the brain.
Oh my God.
It's week 17 of the 2024
we can do both, you know.
Fumble Forecast. Yeah, I mean, we can kind of predict the games for week 18, honestly. I mean, the Bengals are probably going to win. The Ravens are probably going to win. Commanders are going to win. Falcons are probably going to win. Texans are probably going to lose. Giants are probably going to win. Colts will probably win.
Let's get back to week 17.
You told me to go into 18. I don't know.
I said we could
it was Mark's idea. Mark said go into week 18.
I said we could do both. But not that we do week 18
All right.
first.
Let's jump right into it.
Oh my fucking
Horrible, awful, terrible, miserable, worst decision ever. I am strongly opposed to it. The decision has been made to sit Saquon Barkley in week 18 and not give him a chance to go get the record. I think it's a mistake. I know I'm in the minority here. I really do think that it will be something that he will be thinking about as they go into the postseason. And on top of that, and I'm not trying to say like he's a diva or anything like that. I don't think it's on purpose. Like, I don't think that people actively choose what to be upset about, you know what I mean? But there's got to be a part of him that's going to be in the back of his head like, oh, fuck, man, you didn't get a chance at the record? Come on, dude. Every human being on Earth would have that going on. How much it affects his performance is a completely different conversation. But I'm thinking if he loses even 5% of his edge, that's bad. Like, real bad for the Eagles. And then on top of that, I am sick and fucking tired of hearing this argument of, well, would you rather him get the record or would you rather they win a Super Bowl? Him not getting the record doesn't mean I have an extra ring on my team's hand. It doesn't make it. That is not an equivalent comparison. You are not picking one and choosing the other. You could have both. It'd be very easy to have both. And I want Eric Dickerson to shut his fucking mouth, too, for the rest of forever. So, because he's been bitching the entire time about Saquon Barkley.
You say that you can have both. You can also have none.
Yeah, that's true. So you may as well try for one.
Okay, and they chose the ring.
You could try for both. It doesn't even lower your chances of going to the Super Bowl just because you get the record.
The more he plays, the more injured he could get.
He's not going to. That's a silly argument. You should stop driving, too. The more you drive, the more likely you are to get in a horrific car accident, Merc, so you should stop driving. See how dumb it sounds?
Yeah, because those two things aren't the same.
You're right. He's less likely to get injured than you are to get into a car accident.
Oh my God.
You're not going to convince me here, dude. And the thing, here's the worst part.
And I think you were incredibly wrong on this.
Yeah, well, we'll see who's wrong if the Eagles don't win a Super Bowl and they forced him to sit out.
Oh, well, you can get it next season.
That's so stupid. Imagine applying that argument to Super Bowls. Oh, we could just get it next year. Don't worry, guys. That's dumb. This is a record that has stood since the 80s. It ain't going to just happen.
So you think that So you think that Peyton Manning and the Broncos, when they had that near perfect season and they sat them at the end, that was a mistake?
What near perfect season?
Didn't the
You're
Broncos?
talking about when they won the Super Bowl? I don't think they had a perfect season there, brother.
Well, yeah, no, they were going to have a perfect season, but then they sat all their starters at the end.
There weren't
Of
any
the,
records that they were going to break. What are you talking about?
they were gonna have a perfect season. They were gonna accomplish the only perfect season aside from the 72 Dolphins.
That's not a perfect season. You have to win the Super Bowl in order for it to be a perfect season.
They
It
went
doesn't
on.
count unless you win every single game. If you just win every game during the regular season, it doesn't count as a perfect season. Just like the Patriots in 2008, I think, 2008 or 2009, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so it doesn't count as a perfect season. And also, again, not a record. So yeah, I'm just curious. Oh my god. Oh no, it doesn't go further back. In 2015, they went 12-4, but I think you mean their 2015 Super Bowl season, which should be 2014.
Maybe it was with the.
No,
Maybe it
they were
was with
still
the
12 and
Colts.
4.
Hold up.
With the Colts, he did almost go undefeated.
Yeah, I was misspeaking then. It's the Colts, not the Broncos.
Again, not a record. And that is so much more difficult to accomplish and a completely different conversation than letting a guy get 20, 25 snaps in a game so that he can break the single season rushing record. That's completely different. You're talking about something that's on a huge, ginormous scale versus something that's just a little tiny thing that you don't like. For him, it's not trying very hard. He just gets 100 yards a game by being there. Like, dude, I didn't even know what the hell was going on 2 weeks ago, right? They were playing against the Commanders. I didn't even notice. He got like 80 yards in the first half. And I didn't even notice. I don't know, or 60 yards in the first half. I didn't even notice that he fucking got the ball. He just gets yards by being there. I'm just telling you. I actually, this is going to sound like a counterintuitive argument. I think that it's more likely you win the Super Bowl if you let him stay in and play and get the record. I think that the psychological morale thing here is that important. And then on top of that, based off of the reporting, I mean, I could be wrong, obviously. I'm not in there having this conversation. But based off of the reporting that I was reading about the situation, it seems to me as though Sirianni decided this for Saquon instead of Saquon making this decision himself, which to me adds even more fuel to the fire. I don't think that that's a good idea. It's not smart. Like, it's bad personnel management. And it's like, dude, there's no way he doesn't want it. Everyone would want it. There's not a single person on all of planet Earth that wouldn't want it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Nothing's gonna convince you,
You're right. Nothing will
and I'm
convince me.
and I'm gonna push back on this. Having an undefeated regular season is still a record.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No,
That
it's
would
not.
be that would be 17 straight games undefeated.
It doesn't count as a perfect season.
I didn't say a perfect season. I said it counts as a record.
Oh,
You're
what?
saying
Just
it's
because it's 17 games? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
No, there's
17
teams that have gone undefeated and then won more games the next season, and it was more than 17 in a row.
All right, moving on.
But either way, that's nowhere near as impressive. It just isn't.
Anyway, I said moving on.
All right,
Fucking
sassy.
prick.
So, this raises another question for me. Technical difficulties. Again, wow. That's crazy. Anyway,
It's almost like this
so,
is not entirely a professionally produced production.
well, maybe on one.
Oh, fuck off. You have it.
Anyway,
You have them just like I do. Though
anyway,
I will admit mine are more intrusive.
anyway. So,
Moving on.
despite Mark's monthly visitor,
Shut the fuck up. This
all right,
fucking guy.
focus up, boys.
Yes, indeed.
So, I think that the thing is, when it comes to sitting Saquon next week, if you were going to sit him in the game against the Giants, let him play the entire game last week. Why would you sit him in the fourth quarter? Just let him play. Let him have a chance. You took his chance away from him. Because here's the thing, right? You know, the 100 yards left between him and the record, I understand the argument of saying, no, you should sit him. Don't let him even try. We don't want him to get hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Super Bowl might happen. Who knows? Blah, 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 blah. But blah, blah, blah. I get the argument there. But the thing is, if you actually let him finish the game out last week and go hard as he can, he probably tacks on another 50 yards against the Cowboys, okay? Let's be real here. They were not stopping him at all, especially close to the end of the game. Honestly, it looked like the Cowboys were just excited for him to get the record as he was. So, I think that you could have given him what?
When you take the scoreboard away.
Oh, God. We'll get into that in just a second. But he could have cranked in an extra 50 yards, okay? And by the end of that game against the Cowboys. And then you would only have to start him for like a quarter in the last week. Because he would only need like 50 yards. Like, it's just bonehead shit. Like, why wouldn't you let him do that? I just don't get it. Let him get it. Don't take away his opportunity from him.
I mean, what's probably happening is that they're worried about Hurts not being back, so they want everybody as healthy as possible.
That doesn't make any sense at all, and I don't think that's what they're worried about. I think it's already a foregone conclusion that he's going to play in the first round of the playoffs.
He still hasn't cleared protocol.
Oh no, he still hasn't cleared the protocol. Sound like fucking Carl Weezer over there.
First of all, I don't. Secondly,
Actually, I don't sound like Carl Weezer.
Secondly, it could be a very big deal if he doesn't clear protocol by the first round.
Let me tell you this, Mark. If it comes down to it, and we're going in,
protocol?
if we're going into the first week of the playoffs, and he hasn't cleared protocol, they'll find a way to get him to clear the protocol, just like they have with hundreds of other football players. clear the protocol. Yeah, they care about that as much as my toe fungus.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying it was to rig the game that they took him out? I see. Okay.
No, it's just that there's a difference between the last two regular season football games that you already clinched a playoff spot over and the first round of the playoffs. But
Mm,
honestly, even if Hurts was available this week, I'd say sit him.
I agree.
Like, it's entirely possible he has cleared protocol. We won't actually know until the end of today. Because that's when they do the protocol, the testing. So we won't know until today whether or not he has cleared protocol. But even if he has, sit him for that extra week. Let that brain regenerate.
Well, I mean, they said all the starters were benched, so
Maybe they'll knock some passing ability back into his head. You know, got into an argument over Jalen Hurts on New Year's Eve.
here we go.
All I heard was, "Oh, he's so bad at passing, baby boo, baby." And then they're like, he has a 68.1 quarterback rating, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." So ESPN was the source that the person chose to use, and it was real funny because I pulled up the source immediately, looked at it. Let's see. Hold on. Ping, bing, 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 bing. Boop.
What is the bigger headline? Is it the
What is
fact
this?
that
What? Get this shit out of here. Where is it? 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 Yeah, it's 66.1 is
is
his
bigger?
QBR right now. Okay. But here's the thing. That puts him at 10th among all quarterbacks in football. Do you know what that means, guys? It means that he's a top 10 quarterback in football, according to QBR. And he didn't even get to play in 2 games this season because of a concussion. That means, objectively, he is a good quarterback. Say it with me. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Wow. And this turned into, of course, a explosive conversation very quickly. So it was very fun. But yeah, he doesn't have the flashy passing yards numbers or anything like that. But he can only throw what they tell him to throw. And he has the 10th highest QBR in football. So what more do you want?
They want it all, Tom. They want it all.
Same.
So now we're gonna get into the game.
That was the game. Saquon Barkley played. What do you mean? There's not much else to say. Oh yeah, we beat the Cowboys' ass. It was a very pedestrian victory over the Cowboys that the Eagles had. Pedestrian. Just ask Micah Parsons. Even he had to admit it was pedestrian. According to Micah Parsons, only 5 touchdown plays made the difference in the football game. Very pedestrian, really. If it wasn't for those 5 touchdowns, the Cowboys would have tied us.
Yeah.
I don't know. But just for clarity here, I'm referencing Micah Parsons in an interview after they got killed by the Eagles, 41-7. Micah Parsons said, "Well, really, that game was way closer than the scoreboard says. If it wasn't for those 5 touchdowns, I mean, it would be pretty close. It was really just a difference of 5 plays in the entire game." Dude, seriously though, normally Micah Parsons is on top of it. That guy knows what he's talking about most of the time. All right, like I listen to his podcast every now and then. He really does know football very well. High football IQ person right there. But the thing is, there is a 0% chance that you actually believe that this game was just 5 plays. Because, I'm sorry, the Eagles run amok on the Cowboys the entire football game. The Cowboys literally could not even score a garbage touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Down 41-7. They're lucky that it wasn't 41-0.
Yeah.
Jesus Christmas, man.
And we gotta give it to him. McKee and Pickett,
Yeah. 4 touchdown
They-
passes combined.
they both performed.
Well, here's what I would like to see. I think that Jalen Hurts is obviously the best quarterback on our team. Do you agree with me or disagree with me?
I agree. Like, he's not. He doesn't
Fucking
have
obvious.
He doesn't have passing stats, but being a dual threat.
Except the one that matters, QBR.
Sure.
When it comes to QBR, he's 10th in the league.
Yeah. But having a dual threat is just better. You have to know whether or not Saquon's getting the ball, somebody else he's throwing it, he's keeping it, where they're going. Like having the
Here's what
defense
I'd
have
like to
worry
see.
about so many things. Sure.
I would like to see Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee get worked in similar to how the Saints did Taysom Hill and Drew Brees. Okay, like, it was very obvious that Drew Brees was the starter. But every now and then they would work in some crazy play that no one was prepared for using Taysom Hill. I'd love to see them bring in Tanner McKee every now and then to just, like, run a weird wildcat and throw a crazy errant pass to A.J. Brown. Because fuck it. I'd like to see that kind of junctioning for them. Because I really do think that Tanner McKee he played quite well. So did Kenny Two Gloves. I wanted him to take that goddamn glove off of his throwing hand the entire football game, especially when he held it so hard that he did a front flip while throwing the football. That was actual circus clown antics that we saw from Kenny Pickett on that play.
Truly one of the passes of all time.
He did a front flip with the ball. Like, come on. It looked like a cartoon, man. Come on. Take the goddamn glove off. And Tanner McKee played quite well as well. So I'd like to see them do like a tandem with Jalen Hurts and those two switching in and out just to keep it fresh. Because quite frankly, what we've noticed from these last 2 games is that you either game plan for Jalen Hurts or you game plan for the backups. So if you could work them into a tandem, you could really figure out really quickly what works and what does not work. How do you feel about that idea, Little Marky?
No, I'm all for it. I think that's what the Steelers should have been doing the entire season.
I said
Like,
that week fucking 1.
Like you pick up here we go bashing on Pittsburgh. You pick up Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, average quarterbacks, and you have the chance to make them look amazing because you made them look amazing. Justin Fields, when he was starting, looked unlike any Justin Field I ever saw. Russell, until we got later in the season, he was looking pretty fucking good too.
Here's the thing. The reason that I think that this Eagles tandem would work with McKee and Pickett swapping out every now and then with Jalen Hurts, who would obviously still be the starter, because he's just obviously is the best quarterback we have. The difference is Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are the same fucking guy. So it'd be a little bit harder to make it work.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, dude. Side note, Steelers really quick, asterisk. I've been talking about how they needed to work on that quarterback room since week 1, dude. I've been saying to swap them out in tandem. Though, I will tell you, I still think that Justin Fields is a better option than Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson is cooked. I mean, dude, what is it? 4 losses for the Steelers in a row now?
Yeah, 3.
It's 3. It's 3. 3 losses in a row for the Steelers with Russell Wilson in the back. So, I mean, dude, honestly, this is a must-win game for the Steelers, right? Against the Bengals here. This is a must-win football game.
Oh,
And what time do the
absolutely.
Ravens play?
The
4:30
Ravens-
versus 8 p.m. Oh, they're the Saturday games. No Thursday game this week.
Yeah.
That's lame. Why didn't they make the Ravens Browns the Thursday game and then have Saturday night be the Steelers Bengals?
I don't know. I
That's
think
super
it's
lame.
probably something about Hard Knocks. That's the AFC North. Let's put all of them on Saturday.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. No, you're probably right. It probably has something to do with, oh, we'll have all the people from this division watching at the same time. We're so cool, the NFL, yeah! Stupid.
Yeah, no, but man.
So here's the real question.
Mhm.
Can the Broncos make a miracle happen?
So as I understand, it's been confirmed that the Chiefs are sitting their starters.
Absolutely.
So Broncos now come in. They have to play against Carson Wentz
In their own stadium.
in their own stadium.
I think the Broncos win. Because they actually have a reason to play, first of all.
Mhm.
But second of all, like you said, the Chiefs are sitting their starters. So
Yeah.
unless the Chiefs just have the depth of talent that you could never possibly afford to have without rookies, I don't think that there's any chance that the Broncos lose. They're literally playing a college team this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah. And we'll see. And
But then again,
I
you can't forget they are the Broncos.
they are the Broncos, and they probably will charger it somehow.
Well,
Bo
come on, don't
Picks.
be rude. They're better than the Chargers.
Bo Picks will show up, and it's gonna be.
Is that what people were calling him at the beginning of the season?
I don't think. I don't think that's what they were doing, but it definitely is a nickname that has arisen from his
Man,
interceptions.
he's a fucking rookie. Leave him alone.
Yeah,
I
mean,
stand Bo Nix.
oh, I do too.
I love that fucking
I
guy.
I hope he doesn't turn into C.J. Stroud.
I don't think he will. This is a very different talent set that we're seeing
Yeah,
with him.
it's really sad watching CJ right now.
I don't want to talk about it. He's on my legacy team. He's my franchise quarterback.
Oof.
I spent my number 1 draft pick. Like, I literally drafted first in the entire draft, and I drafted him round 1 last year.
Oof.
Yeah,
That's
I'm molding.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
speaking of the Texans,
I don't
who
want
would
to
have
speak of the Texans.
who would have guessed that they would have been the only team to score less than 3 points this week?
Dude, they're
Yeah.
in full collapse.
Yeah. No, easy round 1 exit.
I just,
And it's a shame too, because they had such high hopes for CJ and them as a
well,
whole.
hold on now. It's not fair to count him out yet. Okay. CJ Stroud could come back next season and be a superstar again.
Yeah, I know, but I mostly meant as a as the savior of the team and
Oh, well.
continued good seasons.
There's
Is
no
it never-
possible way to save the Houston Texans. You should know that by now.
I suppose you're right.
No one can save the Houston Texans.
Yeah. I feel
But
very bad.
another
I feel very
game,
bad for King Henry.
another game that I wanted to talk about was the Seahawks Cardinals. Or Seahawks Bears, I mean. What the fuck happened in that game? Why are the Seahawks scoring 6 points against the Bears?
It's man.
They were still hungover from Christmas.
Honestly, true.
It was the day after Christmas, so God, that game was bad. And oh my God, the Broncos losing to the Bengals like that was fucking ridiculous in overtime too.
Yeah.
So bad. But I mean, you know what's crazy to me? Joe Burrow, he is carrying that fucking Bengals team on his back. Man is putting up an average of like 500 yards a week. And
Yeah.
he is not even in the MVP conversation. I don't understand how. Like, for me, looking at it objectively, Saquon, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow should be the only people who are even on the slate to vote for. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I think he can give the Ravens some love there too.
No.
No.
Who on the Ravens is doing better than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Saquon Barkley?
I mean, I don't know the stats, but
Mark,
Lamar and King
Marcus, let me read you Joe Burrow's stat line for this season, and the viewers too. Pay attention here. 4,641 passing yards. That's number one in the NFL. 42 touchdowns. That's number one of any quarterback in the NFL. 8 interceptions. That's like bottom 10 for quarterbacks in the NFL. And he has the second best QBR at 76.7. That's an MVP.
Maybe if he was only on a better team.
Yeah. Listen. I keep saying this. I'm not trying to throw shade at my man because I love him. He's a top 10 quarterback. But could you imagine if the Eagles had Joe Burrow in the roster that they have? I mean, obviously they wouldn't be able to have the same roster because it just wouldn't work salary-wise. But could you imagine if they had Joe Burrow with the Eagles roster? Joe Burrow would literally break records every season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's got to be Joe Burrow or Saquon Barkley. But to be fair, I give the edge to Saquon Barkley. I know I'm a little biased on this one, but Saquon Barkley has accomplished something this season that has only been accomplished by 8 other people ever. How is that not MVP caliber? Though, to be completely fair, if Joe Burrow hits 5,000 yards passing and 45 touchdowns, which is very doable for him going into this next week, if he just throws 400 yards and gets 3 touchdowns. I think it's 3 touchdowns. He will be one of only 5 people to ever do that. That's how good of a season Joe Burrow's having. Something that I will never understand is how the Bengals keep getting decent quarterbacks to come and play for them. They had Carson Palmer. Then they had Andy Dalton, and a lot of people. Andy Dalton wasn't as good as Carson Palmer, obviously, but Andy Dalton was still a serviceable franchise QB for a while. And then you have Joe Burrow right after. I'm just saying, maybe we should start taking notes from their talent scouts. Like, let's do some corporate espionage in there. Get their notebooks. Because they know how to scout quarterback talent. But yeah, I mean, can you think of anybody else who can compete with those three people on an MVP slate? And be real,
No.
too. Don't throw Lamar Jackson in there. He's not even remotely close to being considered, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah. Flipped, caught in 4K. Not to say that Lamar's bad, by the way. Like, he's very good. It's just Joe Burrow is literally on the verge of breaking a fat-ass fucking run here this season with literal peanuts around him. Like, you could literally put a band of circus animals on the field in Bengals jerseys, and they might do better than the Bengals. Other than Joe Burrow. And Jamar Chase. I don't know, man. We need to separate Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They're too dangerous together. But yeah, so what games did you want to talk about from the past week? Because there's two more that I think are important.
Well, I mean, the Steelers have disappointed me.
What else is new?
Yeah. And then the only other games I really thought were at all interesting were the NFC North game and the Lions game.
Yeah, those are the two games that I had left to talk about as well.
I mean, they were the only other watchable games.
Not true. The Giants-Colts turned out to be quite a good show, which is something that I want to
If
talk
you
about
say
before we
so.
get into the real games. Why? See, this is what I'm talking about when I say that the Giants are run by monkeys. Why in the fuck are the Giants trying? They literally, the only thing that they accomplished in this game was getting a worse draft pick. They are eliminated from playoff contention. There is no reason to try. Sit your ass on the bench and get a better draft pick. I don't get it. Does it make any sense to you? No? Yeah, of
No.
course not. It's fucking insane. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? They're 3-13. And going into this week, they were 2-13.
Had the number one draft pick locked up.
And then they threw it in the trash.
Oh god. I
Dude,
mean, it's
if they
fine,
come out and they actually try against the Eagles' backups this week and they try to win, I say we just throw the Giants in the trash for 10 years. You're going right in the punishment chamber.
I mean, think about it like this, Drew Lock and Neighbors need time to warm up together.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, man.
Yeah. And speaking of them, I heard that it seems like they're gonna stay the course with Dable and whatever the GM's name is. I forget his name.
They're keeping the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Like Daboll, I understand. He's a decent coach. I can get that. But they're keeping the GM, the one who gave Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia for literally nothing, didn't even try.
I believe so. Yes.
The one who thought that that Daniel Jones was a good quarterback to give a super contract to?
Yes.
Man, I'm just telling you, dude, the Jets are about to have a whole lot of new fans.
I don't know about that.
Well, the thing is, the Jets at least try.
No,
Like,
I
dude,
think
I couldn't. Let me tell you this. As a fan,
I think the Giants fans are going to become Buffalo fans.
I mean, honestly, that's a good pick. But for me, I couldn't support a team that obviously didn't give a fuck. Like, the
Mhm.
Giants are now at the point where officially they don't give a fuck. They are not trying to win anymore. They literally got a worse draft pick on purpose this week.
Yeah.
For no reason. There was no gain. They only lost things from this. They had the first overall pick locked up, and they need a quarterback. They could have had any quarterback they wanted.
No. They're going all in on Drew Lock.
What is happening? Oh, and that's why I say, if I was a Giants fan, I wouldn't be. I'm done. This is the place where I would jump ship. I wouldn't be able to handle this kind of not trying to win.
This level of malarkey.
Yeah, we are reaching levels of malarkey never before seen. We're almost at baloney. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck the Giants are doing, dude. Why are you dropping 45 points on the Colts in a meaningless game that took away your overall pick? Your number one overall pick. It makes no sense. You had it locked. Idiots. All right, so real quick, let's go over the Packers Vikings.
Mhm.
As an Eagles fan, the Vikings cheated, and the Packers should have won. As a football fan, that was a damn good game. But I gotta tell you, at the end there, Packers fans are gonna like this. The Vikings were very obviously offsides. It wasn't close. It was ridiculously obvious. Okay. Mark, did I show you that picture of how offsides the Vikings were?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, hold on. Here. Give your thoughts on this game while I find this image.
I mean, this was probably the best game of the week, for sure. Sam Darnold has cemented his hold over the Vikings. They are his team now. And Jordan Love looking a little iffy.
It's definitely looking a little stinky.
Like, I know that we took him out there at the
All right.
beginning of the season, and he was out for a couple weeks, and since he came back, they weren't really. Let me see this.
Yeah. Look at how the Vikings are lined up there.
I'm not going to lie. I only see one Viking that's offside.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
but
it.
okay, no, I thought.
But he's ridiculously far offside.
Yeah,
It's not close, dude.
you know, Refs just didn't see it. And if they didn't see it, it's not a penalty.
Dude. I hate these goddamn refs. Oh, but the important thing here is they called a penalty on the Packers for offsides on that play.
On this one?
Yes! They called the Packers offsides.
Fucking refs.
Actual ref ball. And that was the final play of the first half. But those 3 points, as you know, made the difference in the game quite literally.
Yep.
So, the refs handed the Vikings the win. And they handed it to them because the Vikings-Lions play in the last week of football, and they wanted it to matter.
Yeah. Most
Fuck you,
unfortunate.
refs. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Packers Vikings game. The refs scammed the Packers out of a win. That was bullshit, dude. And then you have the Lions 49ers. The 49ers booked this game. I don't know where this team has been hiding all season, but they showed up just to play against the Lions for some reason in a meaningless football game. Brock Purdy, he threw for 377 yards, 27 completions for 35 attempts. What the hell happened here? Where did this come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I just don't understand where this team has been hiding all season.
Well, it's quite clear that they simply wanted to win out of spite.
I guess for them, in their minds, this was a rematch season, or a rematch game. I mean, I don't know. Christian McCaffrey didn't play at all. Weird. Is he injured again, by the way? I think he is. But yeah, Ricky Pearsall, 141 yards receiving for the 49ers. Don't even know who the fuck this guy is, actually, to be honest with you. He's a young fella. He's a real young fella. Oh, he's a rookie. Okay, makes sense. He was their first round pick. Okay, well, he's doing well. Hopefully they can finally get rid of D-Bitch Samuel.
Nope.
I gotta tell you, dude, Debo has fallen the fuck off this season. Like, he really got torched this season. Crazy. This can't be right. It just can't be. According to the Google stats, this whole season he has 670 yards.
I believe that's true.
That's just wild. Like, has there ever been a harder fall off?
He's just not that good.
I know he's not, but like, I just
what's the next step? Is
it's a
both
big fall
Ken
off. Oh my god, what the hell? Let's see. Honestly, it's not even that big of a fall off. I'm looking at his stats right now. For Debo Samuel, he had 2 seasons that were really good. In 2021, he had 1,400 yards receiving on the season. And in 2023, he had 892.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess his rookie season in 2019, he had 802, but that's more of a mid-season. That's insane. He's trash. Why is this guy on a team as wide receiver 1? He has better wide receivers than him on the same team as him. How is he wide receiver 1?
How is he wide out 1 with that stat line and still runs his mouth all the fucking time?
I haven't heard him running his mouth as much this year.
Yeah, I know, because he's running it at his own fucking team.
Yeah, did you see he choked out the fucking kicker at one point
Yeah.
this season? Bro,
Yeah.
stop eating the fucking Thanksgiving turkey and go score some fucking touchdowns instead of choking your kicker for missing one.
You good over there?
Fucking trash can human, dude, I'm telling you. Alright, anyway. Now it's time to get into the exciting part here. Who is going to get the last wild card in the AFC?
Man, it's so fucking difficult. So as long as the Broncos don't lose, they got it.
I believe so. No, I think they have to win and the Bengals have to lose. Oh, no. I have it backwards. It's that if the Broncos lose and the Bengals win, the Bengals get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I believe as long as Denver wins, I believe they get it outright.
I think you're right. Yeah, because they'll be 2 games up on the next closest person.
Miami needs
The Bengals and the Broncos to lose.
Mm-hmm. I still gotta go with Broncos.
Me too.
With
They
this,
have the
with
easiest,
Chiefs,
most straightforward path.
with them sitting their starters. They need to fuck up Royal in order to lose it. Now, I mean,
I've seen wilder things happen. Well, wait, no.
any
Hold
given
on.
Sunday.
Wait a second. No, never mind. I'm being ridiculous. Never mind.
Yeah, because if everybody wins, the Broncos are 10-7. Miami and Cincy are both 9-8.
I just love how the Commanders might get kicked out. Right? Or no, they clinched.
No, the only
They're
thing.
fighting for seeding.
Yeah, and so.
And there's still one more slot in the NFC for a wild card. Who do you think's gonna get it?
There is no more. It's locked up.
What do you mean?
The question
Oh
is who's gonna
yeah.
get
Yeah, you're right.
the question is who's gonna get the 4th seed. Now, really quickly on where Green Bay and where Washington's going to land.
Yeah.
Green Bay has the Bears. Washington has the Cowboys.
And both trash teams.
They're both trash teams. So as long
I would rather play the Packers than the Commanders.
the commies are locked into the 6th seed.
What do you mean? They're
Because
tied with the Packers right now.
the tiebreakers best win percentage in conference games right now. So even if they lose, they're at 8-4. If Green Bay wins, they're at
Yeah, but that's if the
7-5.
tiebreaker fires. If the Commanders lose to the Cowboys and the Packers win against the Bears, the Packers have a better seed. It wouldn't be a tiebreaker anymore. The Packers would just have a worse record.
Yeah, no, I'm being dumb. No, they still have to win in order to get the 6. Yeah.
But I'm saying I would rather play the Packers, I think, than the Commanders as an Eagles fan. And the reason that I say that is because the Commanders just have the Eagles' number. I don't know what it is. We're obviously a better team than the Commanders are. But for some reason, the Commanders always play us real hard. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. And I'm scared.
Yeah, the question is, who's going to rise out of the South?
Who cares?
I mean,
Why is that the real question? Who gives a fuck? Wait, how? So if the Falcons win, the Buccaneers lose, the Falcons get the division with the tiebreaker, I guess?
yeah.
But if the Buccaneers win, they just get it.
Yeah.
Okay, who did they play this week?
I think the Bucks play
The Saints
Saints. Oh.
in Tampa Bay. Well, the Buccaneers are going to come out of the South.
Yeah.
Easy, slim pickings. Oh, and that the Falcons are playing the Panthers, I think, right? Is that what
Yeah.
it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got divisional game week. Yeah, I think that the playoffs are pretty much locked up at this point. But here's the thing. If the Ravens lose and the Steelers win against the Bengals, the Steelers win the division.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think's going to win the division?
Ravens, no question.
No question.
They have to. They play. They play the Browns.
Yes. This isn't your run-of-the-mill Deshaun Watson Browns. This is your hardcore big baller Jameis Winston Browns.
Not even Jameis Winston. It's DTR, right?
Really, they're not even playing Jameis Winston. Come on, dude. They've got to be playing Jameis Winston.
I know he didn't. I don't think he played against the Dolphins.
I don't know. I don't really pay too much attention to the Browns, to be honest.
Yeah, no, DTR is the starter.
Who the fuck is DTR?
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Oh.
Which is why I.
All right, the Ravens are winning the division.
You see? And you know who they have for a backup? For their fourth
The running
string?
back?
Bailey Zapp.
Oh, hell yeah. Get in there, dude. They should start him. Get him in there.
Yeah, no, apparently, not only is DTR questionable for Sunday, or Saturday rather, so is Jameis, so we may see Bailey.
Well, if the list is questionable, that means that Jameis might play.
Well, they're both listed as questionable.
Yeah, but I'm saying that means Jameis might play.
He might, sure.
Probably not,
But
though.
we might also see Bailey Zapp.
You could see anybody.
Yeah, so
Bailey Zapp. Jesus Christ, I thought we were done with him.
yeah, there's no question Ravens have the division.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. So, who is going to have the most depressing first round exit in the playoffs?
Oh, I think it's definitely going to be the Texans.
That's disappointing to you? I think that that's just expected at this point.
All right, so let's see. Buffalo versus Bills. Buffalo versus Broncos. Buffalo wins expected. Ravens versus Chargers. Who the Chargers win?
Well, if everything sits as it is, they play the Ravens in the first week.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but the Ravens, that's the expectation, is that they lose.
Yeah.
Or the Chargers, I mean.
And then Houston plays the Steelers.
And I expect the
Philadelphia.
Steelers to win.
Philadelphia against Green Bay as it stands right now.
Yes.
Green Bay's going to go out. Rams versus Commies.
I don't think the Rams win that game.
I don't think so either. And then for sure, whoever crawls out of the South isn't beating the Vikings. So I think,
I think the Buccaneers have a chance.
I swear to God, if the Buccaneers win the South and
A playoff
they
game.
beat the Vikings in round one, if we don't go to the Super Bowl, I swear to Christ, I'm flying up there and I'm starting a riot.
Dude.
The NFC North is the
just
only challenge to us. The
I want
only
you
stuff.
I want you to imagine how you would feel if we had an NFC championship game, Eagles against Bucks, and the Bucks won and went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'd want to kill people.
I just for some historical context here, everyone, as an Eagles fan, there's some bad blood in the playoffs between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. They somehow always catch us in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what Bayou Hex has been placed upon us by the Tampa Bay silly hooligans. But they always clap us in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. And I think that the Rams, well, we don't know if it's going to be the Rams or the Seahawks yet because they play each
No,
other
they
in the
did.
last week. Oh, really? I thought the Rams hadn't clinched for sure yet.
No, the Rams are locked in.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't think the Rams are going to beat the Commanders. But hey, I would love an opportunity for us to play the Rams in the playoffs. That'd be fantastic. But I do think that this is going to change a little bit. I think that the Lions are probably going to play the Buccaneers. I think the Vikings are going to beat them.
You think they're going to beat them this Sunday?
Yeah, I do. I think the Vikings are going to be your number one seed.
Is it at Detroit or is it at Minnesota?
I don't think it matters.
You don't think it matters?
No.
It's at Detroit. It's going to be one hell of a game, I tell you what.
I don't even think it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah?
Yeah, Vikings 42, Lions 14.
Damn.
I think the Lions are cooked.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Personally, it's not that I think the Lions are bad. It's just that I think that they have so many injuries at this point that it's just going to be impossible for them to overcome. Personally.
Yeah.
All right. Was
So-
there anything else that you wanted to add this week, Mikey?
Well, I think things are pretty much locked up, so we should at least go over how right we were and who's going.
And the
getting
Kiss the
into the playoff.
Babies?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, we really only had to go over our locks for the.
Well, I'm just going to do our
For the
Kiss the
playoff.
Babies because we started that forever ago. Let's see if we eliminated any of the eventual playoff contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You might by the end of this upcoming week have eliminated one playoff contender, and that's the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I got. Oh. I eliminated the Bucks. Well, that's disturbing. I also eliminated wait, where the hell? I just saw it. Where'd it go? Oh, I also eliminated the Dolphins. And they technically still have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, we were right. Come on, Falcons. Let's go, Falcons. Let's go, Dirty Birds.
Hey, I want to say let's go Falcons just because I want to make the NFC a little easier for us. But at the same time, having a win over you in predictions, that's pretty good too.
Bro, we'd be tied 1-1. All right, let's be real here. The Dolphins ain't getting into the playoffs. Stop.
No, we're only tied 1-1 if the Falcons win.
Huh?
Or if either of them if either of them win, we're tied 1-1.
You have the Bengals, too. Like, you're going to be 0 wrong if the Bengals don't make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm practically guaranteed 1 wrong. So it'll be 0-1
Yeah.
is the thing.
Oh yeah, so no. Fuck it, bro. I win. Sweet. Let's go.
Let's go, Bengals. I love that orange and black. Fucking fuck. All right, well, that's all we got for you this week on the Fumble Forecast. But next week, let's be real, it's going to be mostly playoff coverage. I don't really think there's going to be anything exciting happening in the games this week. The only game we might really go over next week is the Vikings-Lions game because it's the only one on the board that really has any relevance. I guess Bengals-Steelers and then Vikings-Lions and then however the Buccaneers/Falcons do very briefly. That's probably going to be next week's lineup. But
Well, do you want to do this? Just lump week 18 and wild card together. That way we have at least like a decent sized episode.
oh, I was going to do playoff predictions next week once everything's locked up. We get the first playoff week, like next week. The playoffs is probably going to be a very small portion, and we're going to do week 18 plus wild card week playoff predictions, probably in 1 hour. And then the week after that, it's going to be pure playoffs, baby. I just want to see who is locked in and do a little bit about that.
Okay.
But yeah, this was week 17, 2024 of the Fumble Forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. We try relatively hard. And yeah, have a nice night, guys. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next week. Remember to hit that follow button and the sub button, no matter what platform you're using. I don't care. You better do it. And also share some clips with your friends. It'll be cool, not cringe. I promise. They'll think you're cool. And yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.